Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the Chiefs at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got you.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys, Joe, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
It's week 12, and things are getting real for the Kansas City Chiefs. After dropping 2 straight, every game from here on out feels like a must-win, and it is a must-win. Starting this week against the Indianapolis Colts, the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites, and you know Mahomes, Kelce, and that entire locker room are locked in to get back on track and reassert their dominance in the AFC. FanDuel has every angle covered from Mahomes' passing props to Kelce's receptions to how this defense plans to slow down Indy's ground game. Want even more action? Build your own same-game parlay and ride with Chiefs Kingdom as Kansas City fights to get back into the win column. With fast payouts and an app that's smoother than a Mahomes sidearm throw, FanDuel makes every snap feel bigger. And don't forget, every Friday on Chief Concerns, we drop our best 5-leg same-game parlay for the weekend, plus JD's 10 Keys to Victory, breaking down exactly how the Chiefs can handle business against the Colts and get the season back on track. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. Chiefs versus Colts in a must-win football game. It's time for our Chiefs to respond. Attention all sports bettors. Big news, Chiefs Kingdom. Sports betting is finally going live in Missouri on December 1st. So we've partnered with bookies.com to bring you all the best sportsbook promos and sign-up offers in one place. Head over to bookies.com/chiefconcerns. The link is in the description below to check out all the offers from the top sports books in your area and pre-register today. You can lock in those bonuses now, even before betting officially starts on December 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, our Kansas City Chiefs are now 6-5 after beating the top dog in the AFC, the Indianapolis Colts, in a grinded out overtime victory. Guys, I mean, we are back. I'm Marcus Dash right there. In the middle is former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn, and right there is my brother Teja Dash. Guys, we are back. I don't want to say we're all the way back, but we're getting there slowly but surely. And if you watch Chief Concerns, you know that we've been calling for we want a balanced attack, and we got 30 carries from Kareem Hunt today. And if you watch Chief Concerns on Wednesday, you heard from Mike Pinnell himself that we were going to shut down Jonathan Taylor and make Daniel Jones beat us. And what happened? It looks like we were 100% correct on this on our Chief Concerns show, fellas.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, hey, shout out to Teja for going out there and taking one for the team, baby. You know,
this is what 5-5 looks like, guys. All right, this is what 5-5 looks like. It's not what 6-5 looks like anymore. That's how you heal. But this is the low. This is 5-5. Nah. I just cut myself shaving. That's all.
But man, hey, listen, hey. Look, it was a great game to watch. Really frustrating in a lot of different ways, but I kept my composure most of the time. I just kind of sat there and just grimaced a little bit and like, okay, all right. We got to just get going. We just got to get going. But what I did see, the great thing was we were sustaining drives. Time of possession, man. We were at, what was it? I think I seen us 42-35 to their 25-28. That was like the tail of the game. And that's what run the football effectively does for you, gentlemen. So we decided that we weren't going to go away from it. And at times, we maybe was a little bit, kind of thrown in just to kind of run the football. I was like, okay, maybe not at this time to run the ball. Trey goes out. We're running behind Caliendo. But Kareem Hunt was an absolute animal out there today. And I tell you what, he only gets better with more work that he gets. And so it was good to see him really kind of get his flowers because he did a masterful job, man, running hard, running downhill. The only hiccup he had was the one fumble. of course, that he gave up down in the red zone. But other than that, man, he played a hell of a game. He was running over folks, running around them. He really showed that he deserves to run the football, that he deserves to be the number one running back. If anything, this is a staple to say he is the guy. Okay, he really is. And so I think when you give the ball to Kareem Hunt, good things do happen. Okay, and it's not the 8 here and 6. This is what, 29 carries. Okay, 30 carries, and
he hit the 3-0.
Oh man, shoot, he could probably throw 5 of those away because you just know it was like, okay, we just trying to get some yards, run off the clock, what all those different things like that. But other than that, man, he was eating. He was absolutely eating. But when I'm saying, and I'll say this, I just give you his, when I'm talking about sustaining drives, right? So you look at it, drive starts. I mean, 19 plays, 15 plays, 12 plays, 8 plays, 12 plays, 12 plays. This is what you're seeing in these drives. When the Chiefs get the offense, that's what they were doing. And so even though we would get down there and the results weren't necessarily touchdowns, we let Buckner come in, let him kick it, and we'll get some scores. And not only that, but also, too, that our defense did a masterful job getting the ball out of their hands, too. Okay. But what that did is that resulted in keeping them on the sideline, put them on ice, let those guys keep trying to warm up to come into the game, man. But we did a good job of just keeping Daniel Jones on the sideline, and those receivers, the tight ends, and everybody just really taking them out, and Jonathan Taylor too. So just a good game plan all the way around. Special teams also too. I had to say this. These suckers, man. I don't know what the heck is going on, seriously. But something's got to change, really. I think it was another horrible trip for them as far as on the return and coverage. Must got to do a much better job. So, other than that, great win.
I think we had 3 special teams penalties as well. It's I think we have a trend. I don't know what it is, but I have to imagine that we have at least a special teams penalty in each game so far this year. It feels like we've had at least one each game, but pretty nuts. Teja, broad view look at this game before we kind of go into the dissect some elements of it.
Yeah, I'll say except for the last drive, not a lot of push in the second half without Trey Smith. That was a huge loss. I want to see what the update with that is. I'll say Spags really timely blitzes, key timely blitzes. I'll get into some crazy stats later on. Mahomes looked a little rough, held the ball too long, was off on throws. I don't know what it is. We can dive into that. Was it the line? Is it not trusting receivers? Is it a combination of both? Depends on what the end of the play is. But defense really came clutch, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more. But just in case we forget, giving Butker his flowers. You're giving him a lot of crap this season. But he was Butker hold. Granted, a lot of those kicks were shorter, but you know what? Like, give credit when he makes them. We would have trashed his ass if he missed any of them. So you know what? He makes them. That's his job. 5 for 5. He basically won the game for us, man. Him and the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to see us score touchdowns there, but you're right. I mean, like
yes, I agree. That's part of the problem when we get to trashing the offense for a little bit.
I think I want to lead our kind of the dissecting this game with our defense. I know usually games we kind of start with the offense, but I think this game the defense really deserves its flowers, like kind of JD mentioned there. I mean, like from the jump of this game, right? Mm-hmm. When a team wins a coin toss and they elect to receive it and to start the game, that shows that hey, like we think our offense is better than your defense. And then when it comes to overtime, after 3 straight 3 and outs, they win the toss and they elect to get the ball again to start the overtime. It's like, wait, we haven't already kind of like showed you what we are about this game. I mean, like the stats are pretty nuts. I mean, you take away that first touchdown they get in the beginning of the game, because they get the ball, they get a first down, then they punt it. And then Mahomes throws a pick on the 4-yard line. They score. And that's really not a defensive touchdown, but we still, But then after that, throughout the entirety of the game, Jonathan Taylor, his worst outing in the first half of any game this year. I don't know what his totality was, but only 22 rush yards in the first half of that game. It was his lowest total of any first half of the season. And I will say it was weird because we weren't really blitzing a lot in that first half. We only blitzed 3 times in the first half of that game. And then we get down to the nitty gritty of the second half of this game. From the fourth quarter to the end of the overtime, they only had 18 yards total of offense. They had their last 4 possessions of the game, all 3 of fourth quarter, were 3 and outs, and then their only possession in overtime, 3 and out. So when we needed it the most, we saw 95 step up. We saw Pinnell step up, our guy Mike Pinnell step up. Yeah. I mean, like Pinnell said on Wednesday, their role this week, and what they're going to do was they're going to shut down Jonathan Taylor. They're up for that test of shutting him down and pretty much make Daniel Jones have to make big time throws. And when it came to crunch time, Daniel Jones wasn't making throws, and Jonathan Taylor wasn't getting anything in that game. What did you guys make of Spags' game plan today, and how the defense kind of just stepped up and stopping this vaunted rushing offense?
I think it was a recipe for success. And to be honest with you, I wish we had done it to the 2 games prior to what we played today. Coming in, and he did some cover 0, had guys getting guys' faces, make an errant throw right off your back foot, and that changed the game for us. Chris Jones getting a little pressure, but that cover 0, man, is something. It is nasty. It is nasty because it's 1 or 2 ways the guys can go. It's either inside or outside. And so if you're playing them tight, all you have to do is stay in that guy's hip pocket, and hopefully, your quarterback's like, if I'm throwing off my back foot, I could get the ball off now. But if guys are in their face and they're coming from different places, it is hard to block when you have that. And so when you bring 7, and I think, man, to be honest with you, that's what changed the game. Because not only that, with just the blitz that you brought with the package, because we know that part of the problem is, guys generating pressures just by themselves with the front 4. That's just part of our game, and that's fine. But Spags trusts those guys to kind of get into the lanes, right into the gaps, and create havoc, and that's what they did. So I think that was he did a masterful job second half, just keeping them out, stopping Jonathan Taylor, making sure he didn't get outside the guys to out leverage them. But no, it looked good. It looked good. So,
Teja, your thoughts on Spags' game plan, specifically his second half?
I was going to talk about some of the things you said too. Yeah, I mean, not to get fooled by the 20 points. It's they were gifted 7 early on. They had 1 legit touchdown drive that entire game. In total, they had 10 drives. I don't count that. They shouldn't even let that last possession before halftime go. That should have been just going to overtime or halftime. So 10 real drives, right? So 1 that started at the 3-yard line, they scored on. 1 long TD drive, 2 field goals, and 6 punts. 4 out of those 6 punts, like you said, were in the fourth quarter in OT. All 3 and outs in the fourth quarter. So they just closed this game like shutting them down completely. That was Jonathan Taylor's second lowest output of the season, behind the Pittsburgh game, which they also lost. Shocker. But if you take away that 27-yarder, he ran 15 times for 31 yards. 15 for 31 outside that 27. And that's been our MO most of the season. When guys did well against us before this, it was usually they had like 1 decent run in the game. Everything else was just like stout at the line. And I had faith we would do that, but to do that against him is impressive, because it wasn't like they were out of the game. They were winning a good portion of this game. There was no reason for him to only have 16 carries. So I think they got a little pass happy for some reason. You know what it was? It was like we switched. It was like that Switch movie, like Freaky Friday, like where we switched game plans. We ran the ball 30 times with Kareem Hunt. They ran the ball half with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, the stats are like overwhelming. I mean, we just dominated them so much. And yes, our offense stayed on the field to sustain long drives. That was great, but our defense just like stifled them. I was trying to, in the middle of what you're saying, JD, I was trying to get how Daniel Jones did in the second half. I mean, he incompleted. I'll do that in a second. He incompleted so many passes He could not find someone. Again, timely blitzes. We hit it at the right time. I know our 4-man rush is still WIP work in progress, but Spags more than made up for it and finally found that edge he needed against Daniel Jones.
CRW had a really great game. JD, what do you think about Roland Wallace's his snaps and rotations today? I thought he looked good. I mean, he had the pass deflection on that one blitz he had, which Bolton, if you guys had around, he would have had a pick there. Bolton could have arguably had 2 picks at the end of this game. But what did you make of kind of the rotations? Because I know people have kind of called into question some of the rotations of guys who are playing and not playing. We saw a little bit more of Jaden Hicks towards the end of that game in that fourth quarter. What did you make of the rotation of the guys who were out there today?
I think CRW is so today. I think if we still have, I was going to text y'all that sometimes some of that rotation, some of those combination of guys that's in there, I do believe that we're compromised a little bit. And I've seen that in our coverage. And so when we seen when they did drive the ball down and they did get some big plays, it was still some of those young guys who was out there who didn't put themselves in the right position to make the play. And so that was something I did see. So probably one of the things that you do is, okay, fine. If this might not be your strong suit, let me send you on the blitz then. Okay. Let's wreak havoc that way. So let me get the best out of you I can, and let's find out what that is. So I think he had an okay game. All right. I think Hicks came down and same thing, was just kind of okay. But I love that Spags is like, look, instead of sending these guys in zone, let me just send them. Okay. And the guys that's better at man, putting their hands on guys and pressure, let me do that way. And I think he found a winner doing it like that, as opposed to like just sitting them guys back in coverage. I'm just going to be honest here. That's what I saw. And so I think these guys still need to grow to understand exactly where they need to be in zone. Who do you have? Who you passing the ball off to? If you're not the guy, who is it then? It was that one blitz where we all backed out and they threw the one underneath, and it was just like, man, you know where you're going to. Who you got him, man? How you not pick him up? But look, these things are going to happen. These guys are still growing. But I do trust Spags to put guys in position. That's what he did in the second half. He started putting guys in position to start making plays. So defensively, I think Brian Cook played a really good job. He did a hell of a game, actually. He did a great job covering guys. Also, too, kind of on the outside. Chris Jones came in, showed up. But I think the defensive line, even though you might have seen, the sacks that you wanted to see, it was very effective. And it means taking 2, making sure Jonathan Taylor didn't get no extra yards. They stifled those guys at the line of scrimmage, and that's what you wanted to see. You wanted to see those guys win at the line of scrimmage. And so they held their own. They did. When Chris Jones needed to make a play, he made the right guard or anybody else look silly. And that's what you want for you being the best player on defense. One of the top defensive players in the league total. He showed up to this game, and we seen the fruits of it. But with that, man, with that being said, Marcus, I still do believe there's some guys that we could work on. We could be that much better defensively, and that's the scary part, because it's like, man, if everything's clicking the way it should, we're gonna be a very dangerous team. We knew it. We just sometimes games like this kind of show exactly how good we really are.
Well, it showed you, and I think sometimes we do, like, as fans, people kind of get fixated on the pass rush, the sacks and not sacks. And I think this game, you watch this game from the jump, their first drive till the end of this game, our defensive line owned the trenches. We were getting back there. We were having our way with them. It seemed like we kind of were energized today more so than we had been in the last few weeks, I would say. It just felt like I just saw an energy there. 95. Maybe wasn't getting triple teamed as much as he usually is, but he felt like he was. It looked like old Chris Jones today, or younger Chris Jones today, not old Chris Jones, but Chris Jones of yesteryear today in this game, and I thought that kind of jumped off the TV screen from the first snap of the game.
They have a good O-line. That's probably why they thought their guys could just handle CJ more one-on-one. When you get mediocre lines or average lines and coaching staffs that don't have as much confidence, I think you're going to see a lot more double teams, because they're like, you know what? we just know Jones is going to dominate our guy one-on-one. Let's just throw it out there. Let's just throw that 1-2 double team out there to start it off. Final thoughts on Taylor, by the way. 5 carries of 0 or negative yards. Only 3 carries of over 5 yards.
Man, I mean, they got negative yards at very pivotal moments of that game.
Those were big carries. Those were really big carries. And Jones in the second half, 8 of 19.
Rough. Yeah, that was a big game for Daniel Jones. He's not used to being in a spot like that. I thought it reminded me of we talk about different game plans. Like generally in the past, we played Lamar. It seems like the Ravens always get out of their like normal game plan for running the ball, shoving the ball, running down teams' throats, and they try to get into this like duel between Lamar versus Mahomes, and that's what it kind of felt like because they just abandoned the run game. I mean, I know we were stopping the run, but like you're going to kind of die on the Daniel Jones sword. You're not going to try to continue to carry it out with Jonathan Taylor. I thought that was kind of interesting for them to kind of go away from that.
Well, no, but I mean, not really. I mean, if you stop in the run, we did some third downs was stifling them, right? That's like when you see things like that, you're sitting there thinking, okay, we got a great tight end. Okay, we got 3 capable wide receivers. Okay, to do a very good job. Do we match up well? And so they believe they did. So we know Tyler Warren he's a star in the making. Okay, Pittman is, he's one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. Pierce does a great job catching the football, high pointing it, and downs. He's going to give you something. So they're a scary group. They are. They're a scary group. So it's not like as good as Jonathan Taylor is, their wide receiver group is just as good. Okay, that core group of guys. The issue is, do you protect Daniel Jones enough so he could throw the football? And I said this, and I was just like, Daniel Jones, he needs a guy like Jonathan Taylor to be hot. Because you leave it in his hands, is he going to be able to make the throws? And so when he started doing off the back foot and stuff like that, I mean, Jonathan Taylor wasn't really eating a whole lot either. And so that was a good thing about it because we've seen our linebackers actually start coming downhill. Tranquil, Bolton, Chanel, those guys was like, they were really playing the run as they should have. And so when you start playing, tighter to the line of scrimmage, you don't give them any type of room. They had that one long run where they pulled the left guard to kick out. And they kind of watched all our guys down. And so as a defensive player, what you're trying to do is just stifle, shed, and come off and make the block or make the play. And we didn't do that. And I think Jonathan Taylor went up the sideline. I forgot what that run was. It was his longest run.
27 yards. 27
yards, right? And so that was like, okay, all right, shoot. Now they're going to start running the football. But then the Chiefs was like, okay, well, let's stay with our game plan, how we were stopping them before. And they were just doing a good job of it. So, a team that I think is balanced, and I said that I think the Colts was a team that was for real. But the way everything just played out and kind of going to the offensive side of the football, and Teja was right. Pat struggled. Keeping the ball in his hand. When he do his check downs, that was at one. I was like, man, Kareem in the sideline, he didn't throw it. I'm just like, yo, like, you not seen? And he threw it to Rice, and Rice kind of dropped it, or he had somebody on him. As long as Pat's doing that, and he's going through his reads fast, and of course, Tony Romo, so he's going through his reads too fast. And I'm just like, he's back there with happy feet a little bit. And I seen him doing that, stepping up, ready to run. Look, Romo, he knows us. Okay, he's played Pat plenty of times, and you've seen that the 3-down lineman, the spy guy sitting back, and so that's he feels like that's the recipe for us against Pat, and so we had to work against those things. But like if you look at the check downs and things like that you have, get the ball out early. Pat sitting over there running around. I'm just like, man, Pat, some of these things are just not going to work. If you're going to decide to run, take off running. But don't sit back there running around doing all. It's just sometimes that can hurt you. And so that hero ball, I get what he's trying to do, but also too, man, that put us in compromising positions. It just did. So I hope Pat settles down, kind of going at it, man. He looks at this film and checks himself out about him making his decisions and his reads a little bit better. But once he started going, everything started opening up. Get the ball to Rice. Okay. Rice started having a much better game the second half as he did the first half. First half, these guys are almost non-existent, as far as like in catching the football. But hey, man, the run opens up the pass. The runs opened up the pass. We decided to do that, and things changed a little bit for us. So,
yeah, you actually had a somewhat of a play action game. They kind of had to look at a little bit. And the one thing too, which I thought was interesting, right, especially towards the end of that game, because you talk about the run opening up the pass, but like just kind of the fact that we stuck to the run as we did. When Colts are coming off 3 and out, and we're just running, and I know people want to say, oh, we need an explosive guy who's going to hit a 50-yard one. No, because we can get a guy who's back there who's going to get you 3 to 4 yards to carry. That's going to wear you down big time. And I mean, you saw him. Well, yeah, kind of. But you speak for a big contingency of Chiefs Kingdom when it comes to that, at least. But like as far as look at the end of that game, those guys in the trenches were winded. I mean, hands on the side. I mean, they were just winded. I mean, they were just kind of getting their. I mean, they were getting their butts handed to them as far as 3 to 4 yards a chunk. And I mean, some of those the runs that Kareem had, like the on that 3rd and 1 play, were like. The fact that he got in there, like, that was tough. That wasn't no easy run. And a lot of these runs where he was meeting guys in the backfield, I mean, he was getting some either -1 yard gains or 0 yard gains, but he's getting beat in the backfield by 3 dudes at some point. And it's like, man, not many running backs are going to get a 0 on that, or at least it's a -1. That's usually a 4-yard, 5-yard loss for a lot of running backs. I mean, the way he was just playing today, the fact that we stuck to it, it was one thing, but the fact that we stuck to it, it really battered that defensive line. And really, that was part of the reason why we ended up winning that game is because they were just so exhausted towards the end of those games.
You can't do that with Hunt all year, though. That's why it's okay to do that from here on out. It's week, we're in double-digit weeks. You do that week 1, he'll be fried by week 5. His knees will be jello by week 5. You can't do that all year. He can't average 25, 30 yards a carry. You do need a guy who can hit long runs, and you do need a guy who can hit the short ones consistently, but he's so effective in those because he's always so kind of fresh, isn't he? Like he was dying at the end of that game, dude. Like he's going to be sleeping in that ice bath tonight. And I think it's okay to do that this late in the season because we need it, and he's fresh because he hasn't gotten that many carries all year. I just think there needs to be a better balance from week to week, right?
Well, I think he's built for that. That's what Kareem Hunt is. And so let's just say you give him 20. Okay. Rashard Smith is another guy. CH came in and gave us some good
he looked decent. He looked decent.
Yes, he did. And so that was a good change of pace. Enough for us to move the football, Teja. And look, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for clock management. Okay. Keep the balls in the offense's hands for us so good things.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, look, if we don't hit you over the head for the 25-yard run and stuff like that, all we trying to do is move the chains. So as long as we're creating plays, our offensive line is blocking their tails off. You're wearing down the defensive line of the linebackers. You're making it hard for the the DBs to see what they're doing as far as covering guys. That's what you want to be able to do. You want to wear down a defense. And so I'm just saying this because I know how our offense was. That's what we strived on. We strived on having, making plays, running the football. We was going to wear a defense down, okay? We were just going to beat you up. And so what we did is we just out-toughed our opponent. That's what we felt like. In the slugfest, we're just going to outlast you. And we're just going to keep coming to you. So it's going to be attrition. We're just going to wear you down. And so I love seeing the Chiefs kind of doing a little bit of this because all of a sudden what happens is they get a little lax in pass coverage. Now we hit Rice over the middle. Let him run down there and get some yak yards. Now we hit Worthy for a couple of things, comebacks on out routes and whatnot. Travis Kelce gets open because he's one-on-one. I want our guys to kind of get one-on-one. So we got to hand the ball off to Kareem Hunt 20 times. I do believe that's the formula. Kareem Hunt can handle that. He can. We're at a time right now that it's no holds bars. We can't.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is. I mean, shoot.
That's why it's like screw it. Give him every carry he can handle.
Hey man, yeah. So, how many carries did CEH have?
5 for 8.
5 for 8. That was it.
Seemed a lot better than that.
Yeah.
Well, he had a catch on the sideline. I think it was like a couple yards that they got. Okay. right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And one of his carries was for 4 yards, so that means he had 4 for 4 after that.
Second half of that game, man, it was kind of rough. I mean, there was times where Kareem was getting the ball back, then he was meeting like 2 dudes at wide when he got the ball. I mean, Caliendo was giving up some stuff on that right side.
Some other interesting notes on the Colts. So out of their 13 third downs, 6 of them were for 1 yard. So they had 6 third and ones out of their 13. 8 out of their 13 in general were for 4 yards and lower. So they got themselves into some pretty advantageous third downs for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They only had, I think, 3 double-digit ones. Everything else was mostly 5 and below, like the store. So they really our defense just did a really good job on third down. We held them on third down, third and shorts even.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, and that's frustrating for a running back of Jonathan Taylor's caliber, really.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you want him to come to the sideline throwing his helmet and be pissed off, talk to the coach, man, give me the daggone ball. And, hey, man, look, it ain't working today. What we going to tell you? And so I think this is kind of conversation, man. So Steve Cash and Steve, brother, I love you to death. CH wasn't good, guys. Steve, he was good enough to come in and just give Kareem a break. And he had a couple of runs that got some yards. That's all we asking for. That's all we asking for. So,
here's the thing, though. If someone said, hey, why can't we give Brashard Smith those carries to see what he's got in those situations?
I was about to ask JD that question.
Shoot, I agree with you. I mean, I would love to see that too. And the question is, when I'm asking this question, I would always say the coaches know better than we do. So whatever they seeing in practice and all those other things, they're sitting there saying, we trust CEH more than Brashard Smith in this area. Or we're trusting, CEH is now all of a sudden Elijah Mitchell he's not dressing. And so they're believing in CEH. And to be honest with you, what little things he had, CEH had a little juice. I see a little juice in him.
Yeah, he had some nice vision on runs that didn't have much to them. Actually.
Yes, he did. And so
he had some nice cutbacks and he found the holes. He did pretty well with what he was given. I don't think he looked great, but in the second half of that game, our running game, except for that last drive or the last 2 drives, second half rushing was pretty rough without Trey Smith.
Yeah.
JD, I mean, besides, like, I know people are saying, well, Brashard Smith should be getting CEH's 5 carries. Those touches should be going to him. My only question would be, like, whenever he's in there, because we talk about this, right, like, as far as from a schematic game plan, when teams are looking at your personnel, like, when you want to play action, when you don't run the ball, it's like no one's buying that. But when Brashard Smith's back there next to Patrick Mahomes, we know you aren't running it because they don't run it with him when he's back there next to him. The only run he had to him was a jet sweep. It's like that's it. Only a jet sweep. I mean, I'm not saying to give him 10 touches or 10 carries, but I'm saying at least I'd like to see him more in a traditional sense get a handoff, not a jet sweep, because that's like that's a slot receiver type of thing. And I know he's kind of utilizing it in all different facets, but the traditional handoff would be nice, just to see him kind of get a touch or two.
Hey, man, come straight down the pipe. But, hey, man, do it under center. Okay? Make the pocket move just a little bit. And so sometimes with that line, I hate with the delayed draw, okay, delayed run. That's, to me, they see it all. We did one with with Kareem. I'm like, why are we doing it from there? And he didn't get no yards. And it was like easy to read. It's easy to read from back here from linebacker. So I'm sitting there watching him. Pat gets it, immediately hands the ball. I'm downhill as a linebacker immediately. If I'm coaching this up, as soon as you see that handoff, you are coming like LT said, like a scalded dog, right? You coming like a Rottweiler to come down to eat that up. And so that's what it should be. So get under center so you can hide it a little bit. You can move the pocket somewhat. You could stick it out here and pull it back. And so you've seen the effectiveness that they had against our defense when they did the play action. When they did the old screen with the wide receiver lined up at tight end, like nobody said, hey, wait a minute. Oh, this guy, hey, This guy shouldn't be here. He's a little too small to be on the tight end. Somebody should be able to see that. And just didn't recognize it. But that play action is effective. It really is. But yes, give Rashard Smith some of those carries. Try it out. I don't know why they're scratching it, but maybe they know better than we do. I'm sure they do, Marcus. So that's a valid question for us.
Yeah.
But the coaches, like, we already answered that question.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and that at times just running to the right side, running to Caliendo's side towards the end of that game, I thought that was a mistake. They did it a few times. Like, let's go the other way.
yeah, hey, come on.
I gotta say though, I want to give credit to Rice gutting it out with that hamstring. 8 catches for 141. I think 132 in the second half. I think he only had 9 yards early.
Yeah, you only had 9 in the first half, I believe.
Yeah, so awesome stuff. It seemed like we tweaked some things in that second half to get in the ball more.
Yeah, what did you notice in the second half, JD? Because it seemed like for the large part of that game, like our receivers couldn't get off. I mean, they have a good secondary. I know the numbers don't really say that, but I mean, they just got Ward's been hurt for a while. They just got Sauce Gardner, so they're still kind of meshing with the secondary with itself. But like, they had sticky coverage on our guys for a lot of that game.
I think we started running Rashid Rice over the intermediate routes a little bit more than what he has been doing. So that changed a little bit. Give a little bit of time, let Rashid Rice work. He's a big body guy. Once he gets in his hand, he has strong hands, man. But I tell you what, watching him catch the football, his acceleration is nasty when he gets the ball in his hand. It's almost like he's shocked with it. And then he just takes off. And you can see the power behind it. I'm just like, those dude right here is an absolute talent for real. But we do things like that where he's the intermediate guy. Yeah, let him cook more short. Intermediate, give it a Rice. He's
Courtesy
a inside there. But go ahead, Teja.
Courtesy of Next Gen Stats, Rice hauled in 6 receptions for 136 yards in the seams in the win over the Colts.
There it is.
Second most by any player in a game this season.
Really?
Yeah. He also had totaled a career high of 103 yak yards, getting 10 yards of yak on 3 separate plays in the second half.
He's hard to cover right there in that slot, man. He just is. He's more athletic than a linebacker. He's bigger and stronger and faster than a safety. You bring in your nickel guy that does the sub package, and he's going to beat them also too. He's just going to beat them up. He won that one route against Sauce Gardner. The Pat should have threw it to the outside, would have had a touchdown. And he set Sauce Gardner up beautifully on the out route. Remember, Pat kind of threw it to his inside. Yeah. He had the outside. It was a touchdown. But he made Sauce, man, look like pizza sauce. That's what he made it look like.
Yeah.
Fumbling a little bit. But
yeah, they left the ranch out for too long.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of criticism was about us not hitting the seams as much this week, right? Yeah. There's a lot of talk about that. We're not using the seams. Mahomes isn't going to the seams. Well, there you go. Nice adjustment to see.
And I got tired of Tony Romo sitting there saying, well, you can't live in the middle. I'm like, what are you talking about? If it's inside the numbers, they ain't gonna be successful. I'm just like, Romo, that's not the case. We just got to make sure there's certain areas, like the curl hook area, that you got to be able to see, and that's what you got to be able to hit. So those seams areas. So I'll tell you what, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write something up on the board real quick, Marcus. Let me get off here, and I'm just gonna show a little bit like the areas.
Okay. Okay? I'll give you the full screen.
All right. Well, give me a second. Let me give it a second to write this, put it up. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll come back to you, JD.
Gotcha.
All right. Just give me a thumbs up.
All right.
Well, that's happening.
What I did want to another thing I wanted to mention too, Rashard Smith, the screen that he had. I know somebody mentioned the Kingsley penalty. I mean, that was the only screen we ran today. Like, what happened to the days of like running screens just more often? Like, I'm not saying to do it a lot, but like, we're not running them that well. We just don't do them that much. It's like a shock when we do run screens now.
We either quit smoking cold turkey or we're a chain smoker every 5 minutes out of the work parking lot. We did it. We well timed it, and then we overdid it in teams. I remember for like weeks at a time, they just never worked, and teams were all over them. And then we just stopped. We were like, all right, you know what? No more of this. Store's closed. And then we don't do it at all anymore. I don't know why we can't just. It's weird, man. We do it with the running too. We don't run the ball for like 5 weeks, and then we run it 30 times. Just find a balance to everything. I don't understand it. He just gets too pass happy or too run happy or too happy with screens and then anti-screen. It's weird. I don't get it. Rashard, nice day though. 3 for 31.
He did. No, Rashard, and the one of the out routes he caught like towards the red zone was when Mahomes rolled out and he kind of like dove to catch it. I mean, it just shows his versatility, which I know I'm with a lot of fans here, and like what JD said, I'd like to see him get more touches as far as carries wise, so we can see if he is more of just a typical your Darren Sproles receiving back, or if he can be kind of a do-it-all kind of guy. And you would think this would be the opportunity to find out if we do have a kind of do-it-all kind of dude with Pacheco being out, because, I mean, Pacheco could be coming back soon, and then those opportunities for carries will kind of dwindle for Pacheco, for Rashard Smith. So I do want to see a little bit more of that, but it just seems like he's kind of in this role of being another weapon, either in the empty set or in the backfield as far as to throw, not to pass the ball to, which is, or not to run the ball with, which is interesting, but yeah.
While we're waiting for JD too, I also want to say just some of the stats, team stat comparisons are just like eye-popping. 33-10 in first downs.
Yeah, we should have blown this team out, but look at the numbers.
We should play a game at the end of the season, and like I tell you some stats of the game, and you tell me like what you think, team A or team B, what you think the score was of that game, and it'll just blow you away from our season. 33-10, the first downs. Total plays 91-50. That's incredible. Total yards 494 to 255. I mean, rushing yards 148 to 74. We doubled their rushing yards. That's incredible. 346 to 181. Obviously, we knew that. Time of possession 42 to 25. Where you see it really come is 2 turnovers. You could do all that stuff. And the game, this is why football is amazing, man, because you can do so much of the game right. And if you mess up in a couple of facets of the game, you will lose or scrape by. 2 turnovers, they didn't have any, and then 1 of 6 in the red zone. And that's it. That's the difference between almost losing and having to go into overtime all the way down and a blowout that we could have had.
Insane. Before we get to JD, let me make a special call out to our super chats. MH Kangler, appreciate you, buddy. Hunt is a boss. Get that man some ice. Yeah, that man's going to be in a cold plunge for the next 3 days till we see him at Thanksgiving. So,
yeah,
he's going to enjoy that. And he's going to enjoy Thanksgiving. Yeah, he's going to gobble up against the Cowboys, and then he's going to get a nice turkey leg afterwards, too. The third and Hunt was unreal today. I loved what I saw from him. Also, I love that Priest Holmes-ish leap or Marcus Allen leap, if you want to go back with that for that touchdown. That was nice. It was a nice little jump there. Amna Brown with another super chat. Why do the Chiefs always have a penalty whenever Rashard Smith has a big play? It's true. It's always on the screens. They have some of the screens. And I'd say the Kingsley one's kind of interesting. That was a blindside block. I mean, they must have changed the rules on that because I didn't know that was considered a blindside block. I mean, he was facing the guy. I mean, he came back to face him. It wasn't like he just came out of nowhere and ear-holed him. So
and it was pretty poorly reffed.
Well, that crew is one of the more the penalized. The top, I think they throw the most penalties of any ref group. So
it wasn't even too many. It was just like wrong calls, bad calls. I mean, like I've listened to a lot of Romo games. He's not like a Collinsworth where he says like the same thing every week, and it's like the most amazing play ever every week. Yeah. He said it was the worst call he's ever seen. He's the worst call of the season. Like he said that in the game, and it went against us.
Yeah. And then Baca. 1105. I guess they changed the YouTube settings here, guys. I think it just shows your whatever your handle is. It's going to go by the not your username. It's going by your handle. So Baca1105 ain't dead yet. LFG. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. It's exciting time to be. I mean, I'll tell you what. Like that was that game. I think for the most part, I think we thought it was kind of. When the RPO interception to start the game out happens, it's like it's gonna be this kind of one of these kind of games. And then when Hunt fumbles the ball later on in the game, okay, I was like, yeah, it's just and also halftime not be able to score, and then end the game not be able to score at the 5-yard line. All those mixed together, it's like, okay, I don't think we're winning this game. Like it's not destined to be.
You all felt the weight of that game, though, right? Those were playoff sweats. That's what that was.
It was.
You get a little too hot. You move the blanket over because it's touching your leg a little too long, and your leg's getting hot. That was one of those type games right there.
It really was. It was about as close as it was about most playoff games you're going to get in a regular season for us at least.
Oh, 100%. It had all the stakes on it. We put our mortgage on it. We had the paperwork on the table for that game.
Do you think they kind of felt it like in a certain way? Do you think that it was kind of matched on their end too? As far as
they obviously wanted it. I mean, they're a well-coached team. You definitely get that. You get that sense from them. They're a well-coached team. Daniel Jones limitations, sure. They were up to the task. It wasn't like they didn't want it and we tried to give it away. We were the better team. We just made stupid mistakes. I mean, hey, every week, man, Groundhog Day, I feel like the alarm goes off. We make stupid mistakes and really timely, dumb time plays every week, right? Every week it happens to us. If we just made you give us 5, if you were saying, hey, man, what 5 plays would you do over? And I did those over, we'd be 7-3 going into this game, 8-2. But that's football, man.
I know. Yeah, it was just one of those games, and honestly, the way this game happened, we were killing them in every numbers, but at that point we were down 20-9. It was kind of like a symbolism for how the season's been for us, right? How look at all our numbers, we're doing great, but we're 5-5. This game was kind of symbolic for what the season had been so far, and. We came out with it, and I'm hopeful this could be the start of a run here. And I think everyone kind of feels that way. We finally got the monkey off our back, so now we're back to over 500 again. And now it's okay. We got it. We got to continue to win the streak. And the beauty is, I know the one sucky thing is we play in 3 days, but also on top of that,
I like it.
But the one good thing is it's that hey, you guys get 10 days of rest after that game, so you got kind of a little mini bye out of it in the end.
I like it. In my mind, I mean. Winning this close game the way we won it, I think we're hot and we're eager to keep it going as much as possible. And if we win early on, we actually put a lot of pressure on the teams that we're in the hunt with who play after us to have to win at that point. Because the Chiefs are making up ground. It's like those all those suspenseful movies or horror films. They look up in the after they thought the car turned over 15 times on the side of the road. They look in the rearview mirror. They see it coming over the hill, and it's going fast. That's what it's going to be like if we win on Thanksgiving for teams. We're coming fast over that hill. So, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of these fans, man, they are these other teams. Very quiet today, guys. I haven't seen any opposing teams fan in our chat today, so this is nice. What are you going to say now? We just beat the top dog of the AFC. So
everyone knew the Colts were overrated. I mean, Daniel Jones still sucks. I mean, whatever. You beat a team that's going to lose in the first round anyway. Big deal. Is that your Super Bowl?
I mean, no Broncos fans. I mean, Bills fans I think they're in hibernation after the loss to the Texans. Yeah, I mean, the Broncos fans have been kind of going at us. And this week, we've also had a lot of Colts fans come on our channel and in the comments just saying, we're going to win this game. We're going to end you guys for good. Well, we'll see it. And also, too, some of the pessimistic Chiefs fans, I think we put them to bed for at least another a couple days. So that's good as well. So
we're like the guy in the movie where the the bad guy's got the gun pointed out. And we're like the guy who's got so much cojones, he just puts his like forehead against the gun. Like, do it. Take us out of the playoffs. Like, do it then. You know.
We're gonna toss to JD in the whiteboard. JD's gonna show us what he's cooking up back there. So JD, take it away, brother.
So I don't know if people can see this. It's real simple. You know, the concept of cover 1 and cover 3. Okay, when you have single high safety, that's what they start giving us. Single high safety, and that's what we started stiffing out. When they go single high safety, there's a couple coverages you can run. You can run cover 1, which is man, or cover 3, which is zone, right? And then, of course, you can run split coverages with that too, like a combination coverage on one side and on the other. But usually, like I was going through last night, I was telling everybody what, like, cover 3, you know, you break the field down in thirds, okay? All right? Cover 3, right? Thirds of the field, okay? He's got deep third, he's got deep third, he's got deep third. What we're talking about, like Rashee Rice, why he's so effective is because when we sitting there saying this area, okay, this area right here, which is the hook curl area, is where he's dangerous. This area where the linebackers roll, that's with Travis Kelce, okay? This is Kelce's area. Any of those areas outside of that. Intermediate routes, we're talking about everything underneath that. And so what we start seeing is, you know, Rashee Rice, he's hitting these areas, right? Curl hook areas, intermediate routes, which is somewhere around 10 to 12 yards, 10 to 15 yards. That's intermediate routes. But these areas is where we want to roam with Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice eats in these areas right here. Why? Because you have a subpar guy covering him, a nickel guy. If you dare to put a linebacker on him, he's absolutely going to kill you. He's absolutely going to kill you. I don't know if you have to see it or not, or it's got a glare. But that's where the Chiefs, they're starting exploiting that a little bit more. And they were sitting there saying, well, look, if you're going to go ahead and run 4, hopefully 4 hit home, then we're just going to let the outside guys run you off, okay? Maybe a couple of comebacks or out routes, which is stealing to us. And then we're just going to let Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, let them find the holes in the windows. So even when they was dropping off, doing 8 in a route, okay, or 8 in coverage, because that's what it looked like they were doing. That's what Romo does really well. That's what we see when he was up here in Cincinnati doing the same thing to Pat. I think that's what Pat was keeping the ball in his hand for a long time. I know I got my back to y'all. But what Pat was keeping the ball in his head for a long time, and Romo was sitting back saying, we having 3 guys rush Pat, and we have a spy on him. But it's still basically 4 down linemen. But you just line it up. Defensive end, nose, defensive end. That's what you're coming with. The extra linebacker is the spy. Other linebacker roams, same thing, nickel. Strong safety comes down, plays man, cover 1. So even when guys are sitting out there, okay, you still have a spy, you'll have an extra guy. And so this is like Pat's kryptonite is dropping 7 in coverage. That's anybody's kryptonite for a quarterback, really. But our guys, when we're talking about what we have to take advantage of, it is without a doubt this area right here, okay? Curl flat area right here and underneath where we need to. So that's all I wanted to see. But when we start seeing Rashee Rice, that's right there where he just needs to run. That's his area. We do that for the rest of the season and let him be the top guy over this intermediate routes, we should be able to win. That's the way it should look. And on the outside, we should have Hollywood Brown. We should have Tyquan Thornton. We should have those guys, Xavier Worthy. Let those guys hit the deep routes, comebacks, outs, and all those different things. And let Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce roam the middle. So really, that's all I wanted to show. That was it. So I hope everybody's seen it. But that's what I want to just show. Cover 1, cover 3. Anytime we have that, our guys on the inside should be able to win. So that was it, Marcus.
Good stuff, JD.
Yeah.
So that's the zone. That's the zone they attacked today, and that's the zone they need to continue to attack.
Yeah, it is. So I think they really started seeing more of that. And Romo, same thing. Like, I'll take any of those guys, Travis Kelce and Rasheed Rice. I'll take those guys all day against your nickel guy, your linebacker guy, your strong safety. That's just a matchup. That's the matchup that you want. And that's the matchup that you should be able to win. So they do it to us. We always get on Chamari Connors because he gives up a play. Well, why? Because you're giving a more athletic guy that knows where he's going against somebody who's not as great in coverage. Even though he's a decent cover guy, sometimes you just have maybe a linebacker or tight end or a guy that's running the slot. That's your matchup. And so they start doing the same thing like Chamari Connors. I start looking at the teams that match up on the inside. They're like, yeah, this is where we go with it. So it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Just find the better matchups.
That's it. That's it. Our guy's better than your guy, right? Our guy's better than your guy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like basketball. You get the pick and roll with the weaker defender.
Oh yeah.
So the final thing I want to talk about before we get out of here is that while it's a great game, we talked about how great the defense was, how awesome Kareem Hunt was. The play calling was kind of questionable in a way. We did find ourselves being lulls, like we kind of have been. We said Pat was kind of off a little bit today, and Rumo does a really good job against Pat. But the one thing that was kind of staggering to me of all the stats was this is the third straight game we're coming out of halftime. We start the half with a 3-and-out. 3 straight games are 3-and-out with our first drive after halftime. And for me, that's the more scary thing because we do have a great staff. We do have Andy Reid. We do have Mahomes, and it's like we're making adjustments in the locker room. We're not. And also, too, right before half, we get stalled out. We have to kick a field goal in the red zone. And then end of regulation, we have to kick a field goal to tie to go to overtime. We have 3 chances to score. And that's just like something we've seen all too much recently. You know, the Bills game, right before halftime, the bomb to Hollywood, you know, we do nothing there at the 5-yard line. It's becoming a trend, which I don't really like to see, but what do you make of all that, JD, just seeing these constant lulls and also this constant stalling out at the 5-yard line, which doesn't make any sense.
Shoot, we had a penalty that took us back, but we had 12-play drive before the half, which was, it looked good. Shoot, I thought we was going to go down and score. And then I think we had a penalty that kept us out of that. But then we came out the half. What's usually the first play that we do? Pass. We even ran. It was always a pass. Why don't we just start off running the daggone football? The second play was a run. It was like, geez, now you want to try to get yards on the run? This is what they expected, the second play. So I think we got to do a much better job on saying, hey, when we come out from the half, let's establish the run. Let's tote the rock. Let's give them a look. And even if it's successful or not, they know we're going to run the football. At least we got to threaten them with it. Go back in our own ways, and all of a sudden it's a pass. I'm like, dang, okay, all right. Let's go back to our old ways doing things. So, yeah, I think it's
another bad stat. What was that? The 4th time this season without a first half touchdown.
Yeah, that's right.
Say it again.
That 4th game this season without a first half touchdown.
Really? Yeah.
Hopefully this kind of gets us into, seeing that, obviously they look at this stuff, but hey, we ran the ball. We had more of a balance today than we've had all season. We won a game against a playoff opponent. Like I know everyone always likes to bring up, oh yeah, they haven't beaten anybody this year. They haven't beat any team in the playoff. Well, we just beat the number 1 seed in the AFC. So how's that? Take them apples. So like we just did that, and we had a balanced attack today. So hopefully they can go back to the drawing board and we go back to, run the ball. Not 30 times, but hey, 20 times. 15 to 20 times is a good sweet spot. And then if Pacheco's back, you have Rashard Smith, You have Pacheco getting 8 to 10 carries, which one of them. But, I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be 30 carries. You don't have to be all or nothing. But we can get 15 to 20 from Kareem, and then somebody else gets 9 to 10. So, I mean, we can still do that, get your 30 somehow. But hopefully they continue to go off this because I thought this was a beautiful game script, especially in the second half when they went 19. I mean, Kareem Hunt had 19 carries in the second half of this game. 19 of those things. That was where that came. And just what he got in the second half would have been more than what he got all season long in a single game. Isn't that nuts? What he got in the second half today was more than what he got in a single game all season long up until this point. So hopefully they can continue to build off this.
I think Kareem Hunt deserves 20 carries a game. Seriously, I do. Until you find somebody else that's saying, okay, I can take a little bit of that load off of him, run it on the inside. Shoot, give him the 15 to 20 easy. And I do believe Rashard Smith, let him try to run a little bit of that down. If you're afraid that he's going to get hit or, get hurt, that's one thing. But, I mean, I like to see it. So.
Hopefully they can get back to it. Continue this kind of what we did today and continue to mimic this.
Yeah, I didn't see any news in Rashid Rice's post game. He didn't even talk about the hamstring that I saw, so that's a good sign.
So maybe like a cramp, a hamstring, or something like that. Yeah, it was odd because he
I mean, if your hamstring's that bad, you don't even do the running that he did after that. I'm sorry, like he was running. I mean, yeah, he did a slide and whatnot, but I don't know if you can do that kind of stuff even when your hamstring's hurt.
No.
Yeah.
And if your hamstrings hurt like that, it's one of those stop the game. I'm gonna walk off. But the other catch he made, I seen him go down and like touching his toes. So it kind of told me it was more of like a cramp than it was like.
I hope so.
Like a pool.
Yeah.
I mean, he had like 100, and you saw those yak yards and 130 in the second half. So yeah, him and Hunter would be fighting over that ice bath.
Put both of them jokers in there at the same time. Shoot. Hey, that's all right. Screw it. They deserve it.
Oh, and also kudos to Xavier Worthy on that bomb catch at the end of the game. That was an amazing adjustment. Kind of a rough ball by Pat, but Worthy makes the adjustment there to get us down to the 45-yard line in overtime. Great adjustment by Worthy.
Yeah.
And I think today it also showed you another thing that JD's talked about on the show. Utilize him like a normal receiver. Don't just utilize him in these gadgets, but utilize him in other ways besides his 9 routes. Because today he showed off a little bit of his route tree. So like, continue to utilize him in that respect as well.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us on this post-game show. We hope everybody enjoys the evening. Everything tastes better when you win. Everything tastes better. So enjoy your dinner tonight. Enjoy what you got going on today because the Chiefs are back in the win column, 6-5, being the number 1 seed in the AFC. And we will be back tomorrow night on our grade show. No, or do what? Oh no, today Damian Pierce.
For this, sign Damian Pierce. Why?
No. Maybe for the return aspect, he was a good kick returner.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more. I think people. I'm not the biggest fan of how we've done on kick return as far as returns wise, but as we saw in film study last week, it's not all on the returner itself. It's the blocking up front. So I know it's easier to say it's Remigio or Tyquan Thornton. It's the guys in front of him, really. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. JD's grades for the week. So yeah, guys, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. We love you, everybody. JD, take us away, brother.
I appreciate you all. Great win for the Chiefs. They came out, they played, defense showed up, gave our offense a chance and a shot, and they delivered when they needed to. But it was a great win against, I would say, probably one of the best teams in the NFL. Seriously, the Colts are they're it. They are. So you got to take this win for what it is because it's a great win against a very good football team. And so from this point on, man, it's just stacking wins. Let them get some rest, go down to Dallas, man, and beat these suckers over the head too. So I think it's one of those teams that is falling apart. We don't know what it's going to turn into, but I tell you what, you get a team like this on the ropes, you got to take advantage of it. So we just keep going, keep building up these wins. They know how to do it. Shoot, they're used to it. So let them get the thing what they need to do. So appreciate it, y'all. Thank you guys coming out and gals coming out for this show. We will see y'all tomorrow. Come out, come see the grades.
Later on.
Love you all. Have a good rest of your evening, everybody.
Take care. God bless. We will see y'all later. If y'all don't show up, we don't see y'all this week. Look, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving if we don't get to see you all. All right. Wonderful holiday. Okay.
But show up.
Yeah, definitely show up. Oh yeah, and it's gonna be a kind of a packed week Wednesday night, because we play the next day. That'll be our preview show, betting show, case victory, all in one jam-packed episode. So this isn't the Wednesday to miss, everybody. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Like a telethon.
It is like a telethon.
Well, take care. God bless. Love you guys and gals. Y'all be safe. We will see y'all later. Hopefully tomorrow. Okay.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. Later.
Hey, everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.